Joji sir.
Please begin.
Okay, shall we start the program, sir?
Ronald.
Okay, sir. Very good afternoon to one and all.
Yeah, please start.
Today,
Please start.
we shall start the program.
Waiting for. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Very warm good afternoon to one and all. Today, as part of MTTC research wing, we have been organizing a series of paper presentations. Today, before starting the program, we shall go for prayer song. Now it's time for welcome speech. I request Deepa is for welcome speech. Over to Deepa.
Hello, Deepa, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Why don't you deliver the welcome address, please?
Okay, sir. Sir, due to some net problem, I cannot hear. Now it is audible, sir.
Okay, please start. You are audible, very much audible.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let me first of all thank Almighty for this wonderful opportunity. It is my delight to welcome each one of you to this great occasion of Insight in Depth. At the very outset, let me welcome our respected principal, Dr. K.Y. Benedict sir, who is the backbone of our institution. Today, we are gathered here due to the initiative and inspiration from our principal sir. Welcome, sir, on behalf of everyone present here. Most of the activities in this high-tech world are based on skills of English language. With a great pleasure, I would like to welcome our resource person, Dr. Asha A.K., Assistant Professor, SNDT University, Mumbai, to deliver a wonderful talk on secret of English language fluency and writing skills. I welcome you, ma'am, on behalf of everyone present here. Next, let me welcome Dr. Joju Johnson, who is our research coordinator. Sir is our guide and motivator in our all research activities. I welcome sir to the session. Next, I would like to welcome all research guides, professors, research scholars, M.Ed and B.Ed students from other colleges to the session. Welcome all. non-teaching staffs of Matthew Training College, who are the pillars of our research wing. Once again, a heartfelt welcome to one and all present here. Stay safe, good luck, thank you.
Thank you, Deepa. Next, I would like to invite our research scholar Priya UV for introducing the guest.
Thank you, Ronald. Yes, thank you. So, good afternoon, on and all. Myself, Priya, on behalf of Matthew Training College, I would like to extend a warm welcome to all honorable dignitaries, teachers, and dear participants. It's my pleasure to welcome you all for today's Insight Invited Talk. Stars shine at night, some stars shine at bright daylight. It's my distinct honor and high privilege to introduce our guest, speaker of today's Insight Invited Talk. We are indeed privileged to have a noted educationalist and an eminent personality, Dr. Asha, A.K., Assistant Professor, Aisha by College of Education, SNDT, University, Mumbai. She has secured PhD in education and certificate in teaching English to speakers of other languages from Cambridge University. Along with her professional skills, she is being a IELTS master trainer in British Council, communicating English and life skills trainer. Behind all these records lies a passion that has turned out to be a notable public figure. Yes, she was a former newsreader and anchor in various well-known medias like Surya TV, Doordarshan, etc. She has paved a strong foundation as an anchor in various public programs and seminars, conducted various sections for teachers as well as students on communicative English. Intercollegiate quiz programs for BA students providing an interactive sections and guidance has extended her contributions in the field of education. Ma'am, we are really proud and privileged to have you as our chief guest speaker for today's talk, even in the midst of your busy schedule. Once again, I welcome you, ma'am, to the section. Thank you.
Thank you, Priya. Now, the platform is yours. Ma'am, please continue.
Asha,
Thank you,
Dr.
Priya,
Asha,
for such a wonderful introduction. Yeah, Jojo, is the slide visible?
yeah. Dr. Asha, one second. Now,
Thank you,
all
ma'am.
the
Thank you so
participants,
much.
all the participants, kindly mute your audio, please. All the participants, and we'll be having an interactive session at the end for 15 minutes. You may keep your questions for the final session. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Dr. Asha, please.
Thank you, Dr. Jojo. Thank you, Benedict, sir. Priya, you have made my day. Thank you, dear.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. William Shakespeare. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is oft interred with their bones. So let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus had told you Caesar was ambitious. If it was so, it was a grievous fault, and grievously had Caesar answered it. Here, on the leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honorable man, so are they all honorable men. Come I to speak in Caesar's funeral. He was my friend, faithful and just to me. But Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. This shows the power of words. This shows the beauty of words. Be it in speaking or writing, the choice of words and the powerful style of expression straight away lands in our hearts. It inspires us, motivates us, instills new concepts or thoughts in us. I'm sure all of you are excellent teachers. We prepare our lessons, practice them, and teach them. We're experts in our subjects. But when we are asked to give a speech in the college on an occasion, the stage, in front of the principal, guests, management, teachers, and friends, how many of us feel confident? The speech is in English. If you're asked to give an extemporaneous speech, can we do it? Ronald is doing an anchoring now. Ronald, can you give a 2-minute speech now? If I'm asking, what will Ronald feel? Will you be confident? There is a prefixed person every time to deliver the vote of thanks at the end of a session. But at that particular time, as Deepa has said earlier, due to some network connections, if she is not in the Google Meet, Benedict sir is asking one of you instantly to give a vote of thanks. Can you do it confidently? If we can, we are confident speakers. But unfortunately, majority of us hesitate when it comes to public speaking. Trust me, it's not our fault. And we are not alone in this. There are millions who are afraid of public speaking. Many famous orators and speakers are days when they dreaded speaking in front of the people. And Dale Carnegie is one of the world famous authors of the book on public speaking, The Quick and Easy Way to Effective Speaking. In this book, he explains the modern techniques for dynamic communication. His courses in effective speaking were highly successful. He produced orators and platform giants of the silver tongue variety. And in his book, Carnegie explains why people join his classes. He summarizes their problems. They quote, "When I'm called upon to stand up and speak, I become so self-conscious, so frightened that I can't think clearly. I can't concentrate, can't remember what I intended to say. I want to gain self-confidence, poise, and the ability to think on my feet. I want to get my thoughts together in logical order, and I want to be able to talk clearly and convincingly before a business or a social group." Unquote. So Dale Carnegie has presented some interesting facts for us. The features are: you are not unique in your fear of public speaking. There are millions behind you. Stage fright, to an extent, helps us. How? When you are tense, what do? You make sure that you prepare more, you practice more. Automatically, your speech will be improved. The main reason for your fear is that you're unaccustomed to public speaking. Because of our fear, we are not grabbing the opportunities that we get. The more we are exposed, the less will be our fear. And many professional speakers still have stage fright. Before beginning this session, my heart was beating fast. My fingers were cold. There was slight trembling of my fingers. They were shivering. But once I start my speech, I don't even remember this. I don't even recognize that, which means I can overcome my fear of speaking. That's what we need. So when there are problems, there are solutions. So Dale Carnegie has also suggested some cardinal rules for a quick and easy way to learn to speak in public. Let's see, what are they? Speak about something that you have earned the right to talk about through experience or study. What life has taught us. Speak about topics in our background, our upbringing, good or bad experiences, about our hobbies or recreation, our expertise in certain special areas. When you're speaking about yourself, when you're speaking about your experiences, you have a lot to speak. You're more energetic and enthusiastic to speak. And make sure that you're excited about your subject. Be sincere. Speak as if you mean it. Speak from your heart. Be eager to share your talk with your listeners. You're not just presenting something, you're talking to your listeners. Make sure that this eagerness in your mind is reflected in your words, in your face, in your gestures. Make sure our listeners feel what we feel. Our listeners agree with our point of view. They enjoy and relive their experiences with you. That's very, very important. So in this context, Dale Carnegie stresses on 4 important things to take care of while we are preparing a speech. What are they? Select the topic and limit your subject. I've consulted Dr. Joju John before preparing the speech, and Joju was asking me that I should concentrate on speaking skills as well as writing skills. And Benedict sir was asking me to concentrate on research writing skills as well. So I have selected the topic and have limited the subject in accordance with the demand. Develop reserve power, which means collect example. Your reservoir should be filled. I can hear some other voices. Hello? Hello? Hello, Dr. Joju?
Someone has switched on the audio. Hello,
Okay.
friends. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. All of us have to remember two, three things. Rule number one, you have to pin the presentation of Dr. Asha. Then you can watch the PPT and the presenter also. That is rule number one. Rule number two, kindly switch off the audio. Please, all of you kindly switch off the audio for the smooth conduct of the program. Sorry, Asha, for the disturbance.
It's okay. No, I was
Your poetic
confused whether
speech.
it's from my side or not.
Okay.
Since I
Thank
told
you very
I
much for
cannot
the
see others.
interruption. So it's
Okay.
perfectly going on, Asha. It's perfectly
Thank
going
you.
on. Your
Thank
video
you.
is also visible in the corner. The
Okay, very
presentation is perfect. Everybody kindly mute your audio. Thank you. Carry on, Dr. Asha.
Okay, dears, we can continue. And this is one important thing a presenter has to take care of. Make sure that your speech reaches across others. If a physical barrier is interrupting you, you have to stop your presentation and ensure that that disturbance is cleared and the audience is listening to you. One important point to take care of when we are giving a presentation, especially in an online webinar, because we can't see the participants directly. So we have to ensure every time. That's why we keep on asking, am I audible? Am I audible? That's the reason. Okay. So the second thing is you develop your reserve power, which means make sure that you have a reservoir of information. John Gunther, the author of the best-selling book Inside, has said, I always try to get 10 times as much information as I use, sometimes 100 times as much. Collect as much information as possible. Then select, choose, pick up for your presentation. Fill your talk with illustrations and examples. How? Humanize your talk. Make it rich using personal stories. Tell your own experiences. We all like to listen to another person's life experiences, right? So capture that. And personalize your talk by using names than anonymous. It adds a realism to our story. Rather than saying the anchor, if I'm saying Ronald is interested, more interested to listen to me. Right, Ronald? Are you listening to me? Because I've called your name personally, I think I've established a bonding with you. The same with Priya and Deepa, right? I believe. Yes? Yes, Deepa, Ronald, and Priya? No answers? Okay. So make sure that our talk be filled with names and personal pronouns and be specific in detail. As if a reporter writes a news story. For example, he or she answers the questions when, where, who, what, and why. And dramatize your talk. Use dialogues. You sound real and familiar as if you're talking across the dinner table. We're having a chit chat. You can imitate if you have the quality. That's very good. And visualize your talk. How do you visualize your talk? By demonstrating what you're talking about. It's practically not possible in an online scenario, but it's highly possible in a physical classroom scenario. And use concrete, familiar words that create pictures. Again, I'm quoting Dale Carnegie, who's one of my favorite authors. Pictures, pictures, pictures that as free as the air you breathe. Sprinkle them through your talk, your conversation, and will be more entertaining and influential. Bible and Shakespeare gives us a lot of picturesque descriptions. For example, simile, sly as a fox, deaf as a doornail, hard as a rock, flat as a pancake. And Shakespeare, picture building phrases, to paint the lily, to throw perfume on the violet, to gild refined gold. The former American President Abraham Lincoln always used visual terminology in his speeches. And while objecting to red tape reports that came to his desk in the White House, once he said, quote, when I send a man to buy a hose, I don't want to be told how many hairs the hose has in its tail. I wish only to know its point, unquote. I'm sure you might have imagined a white, big, black or brown hose in front of you with hairs. And you might have also tried counting the hairs of the hose now, of its tail. So that is visual imagery that we can create. And before delivering a speech, what is the most important requisite? prepare your speech. And how do you prepare your speech? Ask these questions before a speech. What's the topic? Frame the title. How much time do I get? 10 minutes? 1 hour? Who are my audience? Are they students, teachers, my colleagues, team, superiors, mixed audience, hostile audience? If they are mixed audience, I need to have lots of different types of strategies in my speech. And if they're hostile, it's too difficult. They have a closed mind. It's too hard to crack them. How do I reach them? What do I include in my speech and what do I exclude? Which examples should I include and which one should I avoid or omit? What are the key points or main points? Let's make sure that we have at least 2 to 3 main points depending on the time. And what are my sub points under each main point? What are my examples? Are my examples adequate, appropriate? Can I explain it properly? What are my illustrations? What do you mean by an illustration? Illustration is an example, an anecdote which we use to explain, clarify, or justify a point. Analogy, illustration, stories, and examples are powerful ways to punch up your speech. They can stir the emotions. And before we are making a speech, we have to analyze the environment, the venue. Where is the venue? How about your transportation? How long will it take to make sure, plan in accordance with it? Is it online? Then how about the network connectivity? Organizers. Who are the organizers? Is it an educational institution, a political scenario, or any NGO? Where are you going? Who are the organizers? What are their demands? What are their requirements? What about the occasion? What type of an occasion? Is it an educational scenario? Or is it something related with a festive mood? What is the occasion where you're going to deliver your speech? What's the time? Is it the morning time when you're fresh? Is it the afternoon time, 2:30, having a heavy lunch and feeling relaxed, sleepy? Is it the time when change your strategies, interact with the audience, keep on asking questions? Are you sleeping? Are you there? Give me some yes in the chat box,
Yes,
please.
yes, Asha.
Thank you. Since it's afternoon time, I need to check whether people are sleeping or not because I can't see. Okay, now, who are the other speakers? Am I the only speaker or am I one among the series of speakers? If so, what's my turn in speaking? I need to capture these things. Answer these questions. Again, your audience. Ask certain questions as if are being asked by the audience and answer them. Why should I attend? How are you justifying your ideas or points? Why should I care? And what do you want from me? Do you want me to just listen and leave? Or do you want me to leave with some takeaways? Based on those, prepare your speech. And we have to be aware of certain factors when you're presenting. And that's more important in a physical scenario as well as an online scenario. Appearance and personality. The body language and gestures. What are body language and gestures? The movement, the non-verbal signals that we use to communicate our feelings. It can be a posture or facial expressions, gestures, etc. What are the positive signs? A relaxed posture, sitting or standing straight, having proper eye contact, having a good smile, nodding in agreement, paying attention. And the negative ones, staring at people, rubbing your nose, hiding your palms, yawning in front of the people, projecting, looking at the watch or door are negative signals. Let's avoid it. So what can we do? We can maintain an assertive posture. Sit or stand straight. Stop projecting. And appropriate hand movement. Never ever point a finger at someone because it's an insult. Make sure if you want to point at someone or something, make sure that you use the complete fingers, your palm full, not one finger. It's an insulting signal. Let's try to avoid it. And eye contact. Speak looking at the eyes of people. Again, here I would like to say an example given by Dale Carnegie to improve our confidence. If you're a beginner speaker and doing a public speech, imagine the audience have taken long from you and they're here to ask for an extension. Will they criticize you? Will they tease you? Won't they be looking at you with a renewed interest? Of course, this is just a matter to improve your confidence if you're a beginner speaker. But never ever attempt it once you have established yourself, because respect your audience. Your audience know better than you. Your audience are more qualified than you. So your intention is not to show your boss attitude. Audience resent all types of bossy attitudes. You have to be humble in your approach. And facial expressions. Facial expressions are highly important in an online seminar or a webinar, because we see only the face of the person, or maximum up to the chest. So your face is projected, your fingers are projected. So we have to make sure that our facial expressions are always positive. And what are the universal facial expressions? Surprise, fear, disgust, contempt, anger, sadness, and happiness. Researchers at the Ohio State University have found that humans can make 21 different facial expressions. And one more factor, the positive facial expressions are simpler than negative facial expressions. Then why we go for the complex, difficult ones? Let's make sure that we are positive facial expressions when we deal with people, when we talk with people, when we teach, and when we speak. Comes voice modulation, one of the most powerful weapons of communication. Not only does it reflect your confidence, it also helps our audience about our beliefs and ideas. Audience get a good feel of the power of expression. It touches their heart. Voice modulation comprises of various prosthetic cues. What are they? Let's have a look. Volume. What do you mean by volume? The loudness with which we speak. Do not speak quietly or do not speak too loudly. Make sure your sound reaches the last person in the audience or your class. And pitch. Pitch is the rate of vibration of a vocal cord. Intonation is a part of modulation. It's a rise and fall of pitch. We can practice intonation. Are you ready to practice intonation with me? A simple technique. Before that, let me tell you, I'm not at all a good singer. I'm just a bathroom singer. We are trying to practice intonation. Sing it after me. Sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa ni dha pa ma ga re sa. Forget my singing, but focus about the intonation in my voice. It was rising and it was falling. And this simple sarigama technique of music can be very effectively used in our speech and stress. The force with which a word or phrase is uttered. The change in stress implies a change in meaning. For example, I am going to Kerala. I'm going to Kerala. I'm going to Kerala. The stress changes the meaning. And rhythm. The choice of words and intonations we use help us to give a rhythm to a speech. A rhythmical speech is melodious to our ears. And pauses. What do you mean by pauses? They are oral punctuations. They grab the audience attention. They allow them to digest what you're saying. It helps you, the speaker, to calm nerves as well as audience. Collect your thoughts. Get back on track. It helps in eliminating filler words and adds a variety to speech. And how do you practice all these things? Be clear. Practice variation in sound, rising and falling intonation. Stress on important words. Effectively use pauses. Let's avoid etc. And that's the fillers and hedging devices like sort of, kind of, and the intensifiers like very, really, so forth, etc. Because we are using pauses effectively and we can think what we have to use next. Thus, we can sound enthusiastic and confident. And what about your attitude? A good speaker reads his or her audience and adapts to their needs. He or she does not sidetrack. that doesn't abandon their aim. Pay attention to the audience. Show respect for the reactions and take them into account. Be friendly, be interactive, be humble. Very, very important because audience listen all types of shots. Attire. That's a power dressing. Especially when you're doing a public speech, let's make sure that we have minimal makeup and minimal jewelry, but wear a dress that makes you feel that you're looking good. Where you can look at the mirror and you should say, Asha, I'm looking good. That's what is important. Be clean and crisp in your dressing. The cost doesn't matter at all. Let accessories, any accessory you use a bindi, you use a finger ring, earring, chains, whatever you like to wear. But make sure the accessories give you confidence. It makes you look beautiful, but not distract you. That's important. And your hands, let it be manicured, let it be clean, especially in online webinars. People are seeing our hands, our nails. No need to, it's not necessary that we should wear nail polish. It's your personal choice. But make sure that it is neat and clean. Your hands are clean. There is no dust. There is no atta on your hands. There is no soap on your hands when you're speaking to people. There is no sweat on your face. Your hair is combed. These are important factors. And rest of the makeup, that is your personal choice. So far as you can carry it, go for it. So far as you feel that I don't need it, avoid it. That's it. And apart from appearance and personality, now we have to focus on our speech. So while speaking, we have to make sure that we use short words, which are easy to follow and understand. Short sentences. They're easy for the speaker as well as audience. They have more power and impact. Add variety, but ensure that the audience can easily follow them. If your speech, if your words, your synonyms, idioms, phrases doesn't reach across the audience, it's futile. Your effort is futile. So intention is the message reaches the audience and the audience responds positively. That's important. And short paragraph. One idea in one paragraph. That's more than enough. Appropriate language. Let our language be simple, clear. It's appropriate for the speaker. It's appropriate for the pattern of speaking. It's appropriate for the specific audience that we are addressing. And it's appropriate for the context. That's important. The same speech, if I'm delivering it to a different crowd, I may use a different sort of language, different variety, different style of language. The appropriateness of language is highly essential. And vivid language. Can we create strong, distinct, clear, and memorable mental images using the language? Imagery to create a mental picture of what the speaker is saying. Can you visualize something which I'm saying? That is very, very important. So all these factors are important when we are giving a speech. And how can we enthrall the reader or the audience? How can we do that? By using synonyms, use of synonyms. Shall we do a small exercise? Dear, one simple exercise for you. Answers in the chat box, please. How do we say that someone is correct? So what are the synonyms for the word correct? Rather than say, yeah, you're correct. How do you say? Can I see some answers in the chat box, please? Ronald, could you please read that answers in the chat box?
Yes,
synonyms for the
sure.
word. Yeah.
Right.
What are they?
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
From Emmanuel Shaiju, right?
Yeah.
Alan
Okay.
Johanan, true. Accurate, of
Okay.
course.
Okay. Yeah. Very good.
Exactly,
Okay,
absolutely, perfect.
Very good.
Exact.
Excellent. Exact.
Perfect.
Yeah. Perfect.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We can say.
Nice.
Yeah. That's right. That's very correct.
Precise.
You're quite right. You could say so.
Precise.
You've hit a nail on the head. Yeah, precise. You're dead right.
Absolutely. Very good.
Excellent.
Confirm.
Very good. Yeah. Thank you, Ronald. Yeah. So now, what
Okay, you're
are
welcome.
synonyms for the word beautiful? Beautiful. Rather than saying you're looking lovely, handsome, pretty, we can use words like gorgeous, dazzling, splendid, magnificent, ravishing, pleasing, stunning, glorious, looking heavenly, resplendently beautiful, radiant, glowing, etc. That's the power, beauty of synonyms. Now, powerful idioms and phrases. How can we express our life? This appeals to me because I get a lot of pleasure. I'm a keen supporter of Dr. Joju's magic motivation classes. I'm fond of sweets rather than simply saying I like. And for clarification, if you're not clear with something, how do you ask? Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Could you say that again? Could you explain? And how do you provide a clarification to others? To put it in another way, or what I'm trying to say is, if you're not sure what to say if a question is being asked, how do you respond? It's quite a different question. That's a good question, but I have never thought about it. But I guess this is the answer. And agreeing, how do you agree? I couldn't agree more. I totally agree with you. Again, absolutely, definitely, precisely, we can use. And disagreeing. How do you disagree politely? That's one way of looking at it. However, that's not always true. Very politely, you are disagreeing and expressing your opinion. As far as I'm concerned, as I see it, as far as I know, in my opinion, I strongly believe we can use all these phrases in our conversations as well as in our speech and proverbs. They are passed on from generation to generation as visual sayings. A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. It never rains, but it pours. Tell me, how many of you have imagined, visually seen these proverbs when I've said it? Can I get some answers in the chat box? How many of you have seen it seen it in your mind? That's the power of proverbs. It creates a visual imagery. And quotations. A quote from Mark Twain. There are two types of speakers, those that are nervous and those that are liars. And from George Bernard Shaw, the single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. And do you know the story of Bernard Shaw? Bernard Shaw, we all know him as a sharp-tongued critic, a famous satirical dramatist, and an excellent orator. But while he was a very young person, he was a very shy person. And even before knocking at the door of a house, he used to walk in the pavement at least 10, 15 times so that he can muster the confidence to go and knock at the door and talk to people. He was such a shy person. But what did he do? He has joined a debating club. He made sure that he grabbed every opportunity to speak. He improved, he practiced, he prepared, he practiced and became an excellent speaker. There are hundreds of excellent orators who have got a history like this. They were not born speakers, but they were trained speakers. They trained themselves, they practiced, they studied, they researched, and became excellent orators. And one simple technique to be fluent in communication is tongue twisters. Betty bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, it will make my batter bitter. But a bit of better butter that would bake my batter bitter. She sells seashells in the seashore. Can you repeat it 5 times after me? She sells seashells in the seashore. She sells seashells in the seashore. She sells seashells in the seashore. I scream, I scream. You scream, I scream. We all scream, I scream. Tongue twisters are an entertainment. It's a fun game. It helps us to develop fluency in communication. It helps us to speak loud. It helps us to speak quickly. And it helps us to learn to control our breath when we are speaking. Tongue twisters are not just games. They are excellent language games as well. Okay. Now, How do we grab the attention of audience? We can start or we can use or we can end with a story, a joke, narration of an incident or a personal experience. We can use a short statement, quote, fact, couplet, or demonstration. That's possible only in a physical setting. We can have a game in a class. All these are techniques which we can use to grab the attention of the audience. And in this context, we can avoid asking questions like, are you ready? Shall we start? But in the online session, let me tell you honestly, we can't avoid asking these questions. Am I audible? We have to ask because we can't see people and we cannot guarantee about the network connectivity of the other person. So we need to ask this question. But in a physical setup, let's avoid asking these questions. And we are saying that I'll try to carry the content forward. Today's topic is a bit boring. It's a bit difficult. It's a bit tough. What judgment will the people have? Oh God, my day is gone. So don't create a negative remark in the mind of the people right from the beginning. Even if it is tough, the topic is tough, what do you have to do? Make sure that your strategies are different. You have an entirely different strategy to impress and carry on with the interest. And in this context, Rob Beisenbach, a keynote speaker and a workshop leader, suggests that certain phrases should be eliminated from our presentations. Is this thing on? Can you hear me? In a physical setup, not in an online setup. I just threw this together. Sorry, I couldn't sleep well yesterday. My son was not well. So I just grabbed my slides. It's not in proper order. These are excuses which we need to avoid. Let me tell you about myself. Nobody wants to listen. Tell us about what you can give us, not about yours. And you can't read this in back. This chart shows, this slide shows. Why do you need to tell? There is a slide. People can see. So there's no need to show that I'm going to show you a chart. I'd like to tell you a story. No. Straight away, dash into your story. So open your story rather than telling that I'd like to tell you a story, be ready to get yarn. No. And avoid asking any questions. Because when you ask any questions, do you have any questions? What will people say? No questions. We'll keep silent. Why? What you can do instead is ask a leading question. Who's had an experience like this? How many of you felt that you got embarrassed on the stage? Do you have an experience to share? Or what are your biggest concerns about what I have presented? You can ask such questions which lead them, which compel them to give answers or to ask questions. It's all about audience. With the rise of TED Talks and all, the expectations of audience are sky high. And we all have a world of easy distraction at our fingertips because many of us may be looking at a mobile WhatsApp, maybe looking at some other pictures, maybe doing something, and you are simply listening to it. And in that context, what do you need? We have to focus on the needs of the audience and focus on our needs as well. Cut the clutter and prepare for your presentation. There are various speech occasions which we have to give in a college, in an institution. It can be a vote of thanks, a welcome speech, introducing a guest speaker, giving felicitations in a function, or presenting a report or a feedback at the end of a session. Sometimes you are asked to prepare and you are ready with it. Sometimes you are instantly asked, give it. Are you ready? Are you confident? And in all those things, especially vote of thanks, your time is barely 1 minute or 2 minutes and nobody wants to hear it. Nobody wants to listen to it. So how do you make it interesting? What words and phrases can you prepare for that? That's very, very important. I consider it as a great privilege to propose a vote of thanks to all the dignitaries of MTTC who have arranged this function, this webinar. I cannot thank everyone enough for the involvement they have shown and the willingness they have expressed. Once again, thank you very much to all who assembled here. Heartfelt thanks goes out to all the faculties of MTTC. Today, my words are not enough to express my gratitude. I consider it as a great privilege to propose vote of thanks, some examples which we can use. And welcome speech. It's a very happy occasion. You need to welcome people with a positive energy. It's my pleasure to extend a cheerful welcome. Please join me in giving our guests the most cordial of welcomes. And it's my pleasant duty to bid all you a genial welcome. It's gratifying to look around and see so many familiar faces. That's a pleasing welcome to what I know is going to be a great conference. Some positive notes, some positive words we can use. And introducing a guest or a speaker. You're one of a kind. You're so special to everyone you know. You are the epitome of a good person. Your outlook on life is amazing. And thank you, Priya, once again here for the wonderful words you have given. It has motivated me a lot. And another important occasion is something which we haven't thought about, but something which we have to face is giving a memorial speech. When someone who was with us, a very dear and near one, who lived with us, who walked with us, who ate with us, who taught us, we talked, we shared, and that person is no more, it's very difficult to give a memorial speech. Emotions are in your heart, but in an institution, if it happens, if such an unbearable loss occurs, we are supposed to give a speech sometimes, though we doesn't want to. We don't want to give a speech, but we are bound to give a speech. How do you present? In such an occasion, forget about all the things that I have said before. No synonyms, no proverbs, no tongue twisters, no quotes. Speak straight from the heart. Speak what you have felt, how you know that person. That is very, very important. All of you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Laji Varghese. Laji was my junior in Mari Vineyard College, and he was the very best friend of mine. He used to call me Chechi. Eddie, Asha Chechi. It's very difficult to find a person who calls you Eddie. That is something which we call with very close feeling, and calls you Chechi as well, sister. Rather than speaking about the relations that we share, rather than speaking about how big your loss is, can we speak about the positive energy that Laji has given to us, the positivity that Laji has radiated in the college? He was a person with a smile always, a quality which we can imitate, a quality which we can follow. And he was a person who was very soft-spoken, an excellent communication strategy. Even if you have to say and no, say it with a smile. Any negative thing or positive thing, when it comes to Laji handles it. You cannot avoid negatives in your life, but you can handle it in a positive manner. That's a quality we can emulate from Laji. So in such a memorial speech, we need to share the good qualities. We need to instill those qualities in our children. And in this occasion, I feel that all of us should pray 1 minute silence for Laji's soul. He's in his final journey. Thank you, dears. Laji was the person who has contacted me first for a class. He was saying that under English club, he'll be organizing a session and I'll be handling a session. But owing to some other busy schedule of Laji, it couldn't work out. And this is an occasion which I got to come to MTTC college without Laji. Okay. But that's the harsh reality of life. We have to move on. Let's move on. Once you have given your speech in an occasion, what do you need to do? Analyze your speech. How do you analyze? Ask questions. Ask questions and write answers. That's very, very important. How was my style of speaking? Were the main points clear and concise? Were they too long and confusing? Could I get into the details? Was my delivery effective? Was I confident, animated? How about my pitch and weight? What about important prosthetic cues? What about my movements? Were they distracting or were they brilliant? Did I give a good speech? My introduction, key points, good examples, adequate illustrations, conclusion, time management. What issues did I face if my speech was not good? What about the pitch variation? Did I use too much of hedging devices or intensifiers? Could I present for the ear? Why couldn't I make an impression? Did I speak too fast? Was I monotonous? Did I have variety in my speech? Did I use any incorrect or inappropriate or inadequate vocabulary or idioms in my speech? Could I make an impact with my words or modulation or expressions? Was it uninteresting or inappropriate? What about my examples? Could I translate my thoughts into words and the words could create a visual imagery? Did I assume that audience know this or I started from the above level? Was I audible? What about the poor recording? What about my slides? What about the quality? Were they visible to people? What about the network issues? Were my audience uninterested? They were tired or hungry? Or was I afraid of making mistakes and I committed mistakes? Analyze your speech. Each and every factor should be taken care of. You value yourself. Put marks, give marks. That's very, very important. Then we can correct. And before we move into the writing skills, let's do a small exercise. I have 6 sentences for you. Identify the mistakes. Yeah. Can you write the answers in the chat box? I want to say you. She can read it in very speed. Don't panic. I'm talking myself. I already take the time given. I can able do it. Yes, I want to tell you. She can read it quickly. Don't panic. That's correct. There is no mistake. Don't panic. I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to myself. I've already taken the time given. It's a past participle, so we should use have. I can able to do it. I can do it, or I'm able to. Yeah. Now, let's move on to writing. How do we begin writing a research paper? What do? Plan your writing. Make sure that adequate planning is done before we start writing. Let the planning begin from the process word. We should compare, analyze, explain, illustrate, describe. Start from that, plan from that. We can develop a structure from that. Plan exactly when, where, what, and how much are you going to write every day. Identify what research you need to do, where to begin, how to proceed, what to collect or study, how to process information, and how to put it in writing. Prepare a schedule. Make a timetable for your research. How much time are you going to devote on a weekly basis for writing, in reading, in referring, collecting data, selecting and organizing data, and writing? Read, refer, and reflect. Make sure that we read, and read. The more you read, the more you feel the need to read. Refer every aspect of your topic of research. Don't forget to take notes. Don't forget to take references and sources from which we have got the material. For a 1-hour presentation, if you need to prepare for endless hours, writing 1-page writing for your research, I believe it takes at least 20 pages of information collected, sometimes even more. So collect as much information as possible, reflect on the information collected, and select them judiciously. That is very, very important. Outline your writing. Outlines help us to organize information in a logical and systematic order. We can identify the statement, points in a logical order. It helps us to track a large amount of information. In the article, a research process, a step-by-step guide, certain guidelines have been given. 1. Place your thesis statement at the beginning. 2nd, list the major points that support your thesis. 3rd, label them in Roman numerals, 1, 2, 3, and list supporting ideas or arguments for each major point. Label them in capital letters A, B, C. And if applicable, continue to subdivide each supporting idea until your outline is fully developed and label them 1, 2, 3, then A, B, C, etc. Use credible sources. Make sure that the sources from which we are collecting information are authentic and authoritative. Be unbiased in your selection. An essential requirement for both a teacher and a researcher is to be unbiased. See the material as it is. Be objective, unprejudiced, and judgmental. Select the ones which are best for your research. My topic for research was mass media and communicative English, so I was collecting materials from various media. One tool for my material was I've selected the interview of Dr. Shashi Tharoor. The reason behind selecting the interview was his interview was available in print media, the newspapers, it was available in radio, and it was available in television. The second reason was he was a fluent communicator, a famous communicator. Third reason was he was famous as a member of Parliament of Tirunelveli. His photos, his pictures are there in many nook and corner of the city. The students are very much familiar with him. These were the only criteria. None of the political colors, none of the other factors were taken into account. So make sure that we are unbiased in selecting the material and collect as many materials as possible and select from that. That's very, very important. If you have to write 50 pages, that is normally introduction, theoretical overview, and review of related literature, are the matters for which we collect material. If it comprises of 50 pages, for example, you have to make sure that you have at least 500 pages material with you. That's very, very important. And not just research writing, any writing that you're doing, even if it's an article in a journal or a paper which you're going to present or write in a journal, or an article in a magazine or a short story, whatever be the type of writing, we have to ask these questions before writing. What do I want to say? What words am I going to choose? What phrase or idiom can I use? Can I create a visual imagery? Can I make it crisp? Is that sharp? Is this word or phrase effective, or should I change it? And once you've finished your writing, again ask questions. Did I write what I intended to? Are the words sufficient to convey the thoughts or ideas or feelings? Can I say smoothly, which means, is it readable? Is it interesting? What additions or omissions or changes should I make? Should I chop off something? That's important. Then we have to ensure that we read, refer, and research. We understand the features, the style, or power of great writers who have inspired us. Understand what do we get inspired of? How clear, precise, and sharp are the features? Don't copy it, but understand the style. If you feel that one feature of them being humorous, that's what attracts you. You can imitate it. If you feel that simplicity is their style that has captivated your fancy, go for it. Start writing. Keep on writing and rewrite. Well begun is half done. Start immediately when you have a thought. Continue writing. And certain people, they need a reclusive atmosphere to write. I believe you do remember the famous filmmaker Lohita Das. He has even brought a house in Lakdi in Palakkad district, a very remote village, a very serene and pristine village. And whenever he wants to write a script, he goes there, he stays there and finishes writing. And the village, the serene atmosphere, the innocent people, etc., you see over there have influenced his writing. And they are his characters in his films. The same is with M.T. Vasudevan Nair. There is a room devoted for him in Tunjan Paramba. Even if the old buildings have been demolished and new buildings have been constructed, still a room is kept aside for M.T. Vasudevan Nair. Whenever he feels like writing, he'll go there, sit there and write. All of us are not fortunate to have such a reclusive atmosphere. But make sure that if you are a lonely person, reclusive person, you need a secluded atmosphere, make sure that you spare some time and keep a room aside, keep a space aside, not a room, a space aside when you feel that you are comfortable, and start penning down your thoughts. You can put it in laptop, you can put it in paper, or you can put it in your phone. Talk through your lines. Make sure that you are talking to people when you're writing. Make someone read your work. Let your good friends be your best critics. Edit like a gardener. Trim and prune. Beautify your writing. And if necessary, cut like a butcher. Any unwanted word, or phrase, or thought needs to be chopped off. No mercy. Don't let the editor do the job for you. You edit your work. If you are not going to read something in your writing, which means people are not going to read it, cut it off. And be ready not to get affected by praise. When you write something in Twitter or when you put something in the blog, people will praise you a lot. Don't get affected by it. Value it for yourself and get a self-awareness. Be ready not to get dejected by criticism. People criticize you sharply and you feel that, okay, let me put the pen down. No, don't get dejected by criticism. Be ready to face it. Take your criticism, analyze it, do a postmortem. Take the positive aspects which we need to improve on, work on it, and improve your writing. Some common writing mistakes which we make when you write. I'd like to just mention those aspects for you. It's taken from the internet. Lose. I always lose the product key. I always lost the product key. You can read it for yourself. It's for it. The laptop is overheating and it's making that funny noise again. The laptop is overheating and it's making that funny noise again. Therefore, THEIR, there. And that is, for example, that is means that is, that's a short format. And EG means example. A comma follows both of them. And effect for effect. The outage shouldn't affect, not effect. Year for year. All these are homophones. They sound alike, but their spelling and meaning are entirely different. Normally, we make mistakes when we are writing. You're right. You are right. That's the right one. You're right about the changes. And different than for different from. This setup is different from, that is, and this setup is better than. Lay and lie. Then for than. Could have or would have, so could have and would have. These are some common mistakes, which there are lots of mistakes like that. You can refer and learn such mistakes. And Joyce Carol Oates, she is a legendary writer. She teaches how to write short stories by developing a voice and exploring classic works of fiction. Some suggestions from her. Let's see. Learn from the best, but don't copy them. For example, if you want to write young adult literature, Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling is the best. And if it is science fiction, Isaac Asimov or Neil Gaiman are the best. And fantasy novels, the Lord of the Rings trilogy by J.R.R. Tolkien. And if horror is what you want to write, go for H.P. Lovecraft and Stephen King. But don't copy them. Hone in on ideas, styles, and a point of view that are unique to you. That is what she recommends. And second, create a character based on someone you know. People or friends, family members, co-workers. You can observe them. You can make them characters for your stories. Use the snowflake method to brainstorm. What's snowflake method? It's a technique for crafting a novel from scratch by starting with a basic story summary, then layering it in additional elements. First, the summary is there, then the next chapters, the following chapters, layers the details. Epic Ramayana has used this method years back very effectively. In the first chapter of Ramayana, that is Uma Maheshwara Samvadam, Lord Parameshwar, Lord Shiva is giving the summary of Ramayana to Goddess Parvati. And the following chapters are a detailed description of the incidents given in the first chapter. And finally, she recommends that find an environment that encourages the creative flow, which I've already mentioned about MT and Lohidadas. And comes try free writing. Free writing means forget about all these rules and no premeditation, no rules. Allow your stream of consciousness to inspire the words. Whenever you feel like, start writing. Forget about the rules and writing. I remember Arundhati Roy, the Booker Prize winner of The God of Small Things. She has said once, so when an interviewer asks her, have you rewritten what you have written? Then she has said, no, I haven't read what I've written. Because to me, every writing, every word written is like a piece, it's like breath. Once you breath, you can't rebreathe it. Words are like that for me. So I don't reread them, I don't correct them. But since we are not goddesses of small things, we aim for bigger things. Let's make sure that we read, edit, correct what we are writing. That is important. Let's have a look at some online resources which help us in speaking and writing. So whatever be the difficulties that we face, nowadays we are highly advantageous that we have online resources. Free resources. Hello Talk, which helps us to get speaking practice. It has video calls, audio calls, texting, translation tools, group chats, and a great search feature that you can find your friends as well. And second is Udemy. You can take courses for English learners in this platform. BBC Learning English, learn new vocabulary, take grammar lessons, and improve pronunciation by taking lessons based on news. Grammarly, you might be familiar with it, highlights grammar mistakes, spellings, and also gives you an explanation why so. And Anki, digital flashcards. You can upload your cards or use the ones which are already there. Italki, it's a talk private and group English lessons online. We can take private and group lessons online, and you can select teachers from all over the world since it's online. And link quick lessons and test your English. Take ready-made lessons or import your own lessons, and you can use it. And the online resources to improve writing skills specifically. Hypergrammar, an extensive electronic grammar course at the University of Ottawa's Writing Center. Use English punctuation correctly, and Grammar Girl again. And 40 plus tips to improve your grammar and punctuation about online writing. And common errors in English, answers to common grammar questions related to English grammar with explanation as well. And English grammar FAQ, a list of common English language problems and how to solve them. And Writer's Digest, information on better writing and how to get it published. And the Elements of Style. It's an online version of the book, The Elements of Style by William Strunk Jr. And Using English, a large collection of English as a second language tools and resources for teachers, learners, and academics. And online writing courses. There are many free courses available. You can focus on your type, that is creative writing, poetry, essay writing, fiction writing, and choose them judiciously as per your. And let's do a justification to a title that's very, very important. The Secret of English Language Fluency and Writing Skills. The most important secret of English language fluency and writing skills is that this is not a secret. That's the most important secret, because we know these are the secrets, but Sometimes we are not recognizing them. That's the only thing. It's our enthusiasm. Be enthusiastic about the topic. Be passionate. Research. Prepare. Research the topic thoroughly. Prepare and practice. Humble. Don't be ashamed of making mistakes, but be diligent to correct and not to repeat them. And you're confident. Communicate with confidence. Write with confidence. Be genuine. Speak from your heart. Write from your heart. Write with words that come from you, not from the dictionary. Speak in your comfortable pace. You may be a person with a quick speed. You may be a person with a moderate speed. Whatever be your pace, you are comfortable with it, go for it. Don't try to imitate other person's style of speaking. Enrich your vocabulary, be proficient in grammar, practice pronunciation and intonation, utilize opportunities to speak in public. If you admire Shashi Tharoor, that doesn't mean that you're going to use all the words that he is using. He is comfortable using that. That's why he is using. Unless you're comfortable, don't go for it. Choose the words that we are comfortable in using. That's being genuine. And one's dream. Visualize the appreciation that you get in your speech or writing. Before beginning the session, not just before beginning the session, before beginning the preparation of the session, what I've dreamt of is I expect a call from Dr. Jojo or Benedict sir, and they are saying, or from GB teacher, or from Dr. Shalini, those who have listened, the teachers whom I know, they're calling me and saying, it's not this, thank you so much, it was a good session. No, I expected better words. I dreamt of beautiful comments. If I deserve to get those comments, I need to work. I need to prepare, which means in dreams begin responsibilities, not said by me, but by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Dream, because in dreams begin responsibilities. And once you're done with, write on what you did well, where you went wrong. Collect feedbacks from your friends. They're your best critics, not the comments. Improve on your mistakes. Practice, practice, and practice. That is very, very important. There are different styles of speaking. Let me just mention about the speakers in this platform itself. Benedict Sir, whenever he speaks with an authoritative tone. That is his style. Dr. Joju, he has got a very pleasant and smoothing style. He's like a guy next door in the Bollywood movies when he speaks. He maintains that style. GB teacher, she has got a very pleasing smile, has a very solemn tone. People have got different styles. Be genuine, adapt your style, improve your confidence, be happy with your style, and modify your strengths and work on your weaknesses. We started our session with Mark Antony's speech on Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar sailed over English Channel from Gaul and reached the land which is the current England. What did he do to ensure the success of his army? He halted the soldiers on the cliffs of Dover. Looking down, the soldiers saw a shocking scene. 200 feet down, the ships that have carried them are being consumed by red tongues of fire. Left out in the land of the enemy, there was but one thing left for them to do, to advance, to conquer. And that's what precisely they did. The immortal Caesar's indomitable spirit and determination led to their success. Why don't we make that spirit ours as well? Let's be fearless. Let's be confident. Let's be determined. Let's be dedicated and won the war against the fears and anxieties brooding in our minds. Our weapons are our hard work. Our weapons are the practice, passion, and determination to excel. Let's conquer hearts with our communication, be it in writing or in speaking. Let's get inspired and inspire others. All the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am, for your brilliant and outstanding presentation regarding the topic Secret of English Language Fluency and Writing Skills. It was a great experience for us. Thank you, ma'am, for your stimulating presentation. Now, it is for discussion session. You can ask your doubt and make it clarified.
You may post queries in the chat box as well. You can add to what Dr. Asha has given us. You may add some more points if you want. That's also possible. Thank you. Dr. Asha,
Yes, sir.
In order to save time, let there be worries or additions in the chat box. I would like to thank you for your brilliant speech in the very formal order. Thanks. Actually, we missed Dr. Raji Varghese a lot, and your a 1 minute silent observance was also fitting and outstanding. Thank you very much for your for responding to our invitation and for delivering this outstanding lack. It was like a sweet poem, Asha, so sweet and melodious. Thank you.
Thank you, Jojo.
Dr. Asha, let me ask you one thing. What is the secret of your command of English language and fluency, ma'am? You have taken special care in cultivating that?
Yes, of course. I used to.
Please.
Jojo, am I audible? Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you are audible.
Dr. Asha, I would like to add.
Yeah.
Please, carry on. Yeah, audible, please.
Yeah.
You are audible now. You are audible now.
Yes, yes.
You are audible now.
As a student itself, I used to watch Doordarshan News. At that time only we had Doordarshan, not other channels. I used to watch Doordarshan News every day, 10 minutes at least. And I think it was Neeti Ravindran and Rini Khanna. Those were the newsreaders at that time. So every day, I think it was 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. So every day I used to watch the news. I used to listen to the news 10 minutes just to see how they read it. And whenever I read newspaper, I have the habit of reading newspaper, be it English or Malayalam, especially Malayalam newspaper. I used to read it like a newsreader every time. And whenever people speak, I observe their qualities. I observe the positive qualities as well as the negative qualities. What I can learn from them, be it a small student or be it a great person, whatever be their rank in society, whatever be their age, whatever be their qualification, what can I get from, what can I learn from them? This is what always I look for. And that's what makes you a good learner, a listener, as well as a good speaker.
Dr. Asha,
yes,
shall I add one small point
yes,
to what
definitely.
you have given?
Yeah, definitely.
Actually, reading small pictures.
Tell us something about your life at Mumbai.
Mumbai, actually, we are literally locked up for the last 7 months because Mumbai was the highest in the COVID scenario, and the cases are getting increased day by day. Even though there is no lockdown now, we are literally locked up because my husband, because since I have a very small boy, we are taking extra care that we don't go out. We just go out for basic requirements if it is highly essential that we cannot arrange inside the home. Then only we go out. So life is like it's a happy occasion that I can see people, I can meet people at least in this online scenario. And because of this also we cannot come to Kerala also because how the travel will be, we are scared about the child, so we are not even traveling. That's a scenario. Otherwise, in Mumbai, everything is back to normal.
Dr. Asha,
Yes.
what I would like to add is this: reading picture stories with small interactions, that would be very useful for developing language fluency. Chambak, Tingle, storybooks like that.
I used to read them a lot. Still, Balarama and Pumbata, Balabhumi are my favorite books. I read them still. Excellent one.
Great.
Am I allowed to ask a question?
Definitely, definitely.
Dr. Mato or if you allow, I'll ask a question.
So you are the one who gave the class on language pollution, right, sir?
Yes.
Yes, sir, your class was excellent. I was there.
Okay.
Yes,
thank you. Two things. First thing, why did you select the topic? Generally, listening and speaking go together, and reading and writing go together. We generally put them together. The selection, both of them are expressive part, the expression medium, speaking and writing together. Why this topic? First thing. And second thing, when you are speaking at the end of the discussion, when we are discussing, the way you talk is entirely different than the way you delivered the talk. When you're delivering the talk, the intonation part completely changed in the medium. So the question follows is that, do you think that the way we talk is better, or the way we deliver is better in order for intelligibility in language? These two questions. Thank you very much.
Let me answer the second question first, sir. There is difference in delivering and there is difference in talking. Because I was attending to a personal question asked by Benedict, sir. So the scenario is different. But if I am following that same pattern when I'm delivering a speech, it may not be appealing to all the participants. Here, my intention in delivering a speech is to grab the attention, impress them, retain the interest, for which I need to be more alert, more active, more energetic, and more enthusiastic. But with Benedict, sir, I don't need such strategies because we know each other personally for a very long time. Though he hasn't taught me, he considers me as a student. He orders me, Asha, do this. And I consider him as my teacher. That's the relationship.
Yes,
So I have freedom to be my own self, very simple, very plain. But as a teacher, I don't have that freedom. I need to show that I'm the best. That's the difference. And for the first question, and for your first question, again, let me quote Benedict. Benedict told me, Asha, focus on, can you take a session, focus on writing skills. Students want that, research writing skills. So I've obeyed him. And Dr. Joju, who is the convener, he has told me, Asha, don't just focus on writing skills, focus on speaking as well, because speaking is the need of the...
That's the need, as per the need.
I have followed the instructions of the need of the organizers.
I was putting some logic, and finally I came with the conclusion there is a good logic in this as well. There is a good logic in this as well. Both of them are they call it receptive and expression.
There are people who want to listen to speaking aspects. There are people who want to focus on writing aspects. So my intention was to cater to all, to make them happy to some extent.
Yeah. By the way, you speak really nice, and congratulations for that. Really, really good.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, bye.
Thank you, sir.
Benedict sir, before moving to the final session, Benedict sir, kindly add a word.
Okay, Jojo, you continue. I have some visitors here, so I may not be able to respond. I have seen your
Dear
presentation.
friends, we had a small technical problem. Sir. Okay. Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks a lot. Dear participants, actually we had a problem today. There is a technical problem with Google Meet. Actually, we were able to, we have paid for Google Suite and we can accommodate 250 people in the program. But today, I don't know what has happened. They have restricted us to 100. So, but the program was given live in YouTube also. So, Asha, there were plenty of people who were wanting to join the course, but they could not join, and I was busy giving link to the remaining people so that
Jojo,
they can
I have a
join
suggestion
online.
that if the same situation continues in the next days, we may shift from Google Meet to that of a paid version of a Zoom.
Yes, sure, sir.
If any difficulty arises.
We can think of that, sir, because Zoom is better than Google Meet. It's more interactive and we can see
We
all
have
the
provided
maximum
maximum
the team very easily.
We want to contribute to maximum to the viewers.
Yes, sir. We can do that. And Dr. Asha, so this week's program, all were enthusiastic to join it, maybe because of the attraction of the title. That's why I sat with Dr. Benedict sir and we together added both the points. Okay, thank you very much for captaincy to both the groups, and we are indebted to you. We are really indebted to you. Thank you.
I have a suggestion to the audience that if the audience has some selection of any resource person for our program, it's your choice to suggest some of the well-known resource persons from across the country, so we may accommodate them, so that we will get more and more valuable presentation. Also, we have a plan to get a synopsis of the presentations of these speakers, 4 to 5 pages, and after completing 1 or 2 years, we may have a publication in the form of a edited book, an outcome of the insight in the program. So it will be a document for the entire academic. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, Benedict sir. Dear friends, so Benedict sir has given it beautifully. All the presentations of Insight Indepth have been shot and uploaded in the YouTube, and participants of today can go and visit the YouTube for the previous talks. And Multiple Training College publication wing is planning to publish the summary of all the presentations in the form of a book in the coming months. And as Dr. Benedict sir has clearly requested you, kindly you may suggest some of the topics and some of the resource persons you can put in the chat box, and we would be grateful if you share the weekly talk series, the information about the program to your friends, colleagues and students. We just want to not adding participants. That is not the purpose. Actually, we want to share these brilliant resources to the society. That's why you may help us in spreading the program to the society. That's all from my side. Asha, Multiple Training College family is really sorry about the sad demise of Dr. Laji Varghese. He has been a backbone of this program, and he's the one who had been giving technical advice, technical support with Dr. Ansi Varghese for Google Suite, all those problems. And whenever we had some technical troubles, he was the one who solved the problem at the very entrance of the problem itself. Thank you very much for remembering Dr. Laji Varghese, and we'll be inviting you for the day, for the wonderful half-day program where we thank God for the wonderful person in Dr. Laji Varghese. We'll be notifying to you. Thank you, Dr. Master, sir, for joining the talk and for adding your query as well. And we are indebted to you also. Now, dear friends, shall we move on to the vote of thanks session and national anthem?
Okay, sir. Now it's the time for vote of thanks. I invite my fellow researcher, Sanila Manoj, to deliver the vote of thanks. Over to Sanila.
Thank you, Ronald. Good evening, everyone. The best kind of giving is thanksgiving. Nothing is more honorable than a grateful heart. At the very beginning, let me thank Almighty for this wonderful opportunity and for the blessings that I showered throughout this meeting. Let me express my gratefulness to our today's guest of honor, Dr. Asha A.K. Ma'am. Secret of English language fluency and writing skills was very useful and an eye-opener for us. It definitely gives us an insight. As English is considered as the universal language, we had a great time with you, ma'am, as you shared such a great secret with all of us. As most of us are research scholars, the ideas you shared about the writing of the research paper will surely help us. Also, the topics like how to start a welcome speech, how to do a vote of thanks, and many more will definitely enhance our skills in English language. The chat box messages are the evidence how your talk benefited everyone, ma'am. On behalf of everyone present here, ma'am, I express my gratitude to you. Thank you so much, dear Asha, ma'am. Let me thank our principal, Dr. K.Y. Benedict, sir, who is the backbone of our institution, because of whom we are gathered together today for this meeting, even though we are keeping physical distancing because of this pandemic. The initiatives, the inspirations, and the valuable guidance given by the respected sir are the force which keeps us going. Wholehearted thank you, sir, on behalf of everyone present here. Thank you so much, dear sir. Let me next convey my gratitude to our research coordinator, Dr. Joju Johnson, our guide, motivator, supporter, and whatnot. His presence always fills us with immense positive energy, which keeps us to overcome all our hindrances. I thank you, sir, on behalf of each one of us present here for all the support you are providing for us. Thank you, dear Joju, sir. Let me express my appreciation to all the guides and teachers of our college who are the support system of our research wing. Thank you each and everyone for your valuable presence and support. Thank you so much. Next, I express my wholehearted thanks to all the guides, teachers, and well-wishers for your valuable presence, which makes this initiative a great one. I also express my thanks to all the participants from outside our college. This program is also being telecasted live through the YouTube. We are so glad to have you all here. I thank each and everyone on behalf of our Martha Training College Research Wing. Thank you so much for your participation. Next, I would like to thank the person who is the strength behind all the programs of our research wing, our secretary, Saumya. Let your headship lead all our programs to a great success. Thank you so much, dear Saumya, on behalf of everyone present here. Last but not least, I would like to extend my wholehearted thanks to all my friends, the research scholars of Martha Training College, who are the pillars of our research wing. Thank you each and everyone of our Martha Training College. Let me conclude my part with the words of John F. Kennedy. As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them. So, dear friends, what we get from our insight in depth every week, we all must ensure that we will try to live by them. Once again, thank you all. We will meet again next week with another thought-provoking insight in depth. Stay safe. May God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Dear friends, for the e-certificate, kindly fill in the feedback form. Don't forget to fill in the feedback form and keep Lajisa's family in your prayers. Thank you. Hope to meet you next week, next Friday, 2:30.
Rajita, may I leave?
National anthem.
Vijay, may I?
Now it's the time for
Sure,
national
Asha.
anthem.
After the program, I will
Yeah,
call you. I will call you.
Yeah, sure.
Now it's the time for national anthem. We shall stand up for national anthem.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल गंगा विंध्य